Hi, I'm Vernon L. Bowling, and welcome to another edition of Focus. As I hope you know, Focus has been on the air for over 40 years. We've been continuing to bring you the African American community problems, accomplishments, as well as successes that we've had within the African American community. Don't touch that remote. Matter of fact, you can get your pencils or papers together and write down some information that we're going to give to you that's going to be very important that you probably can use later. We'll be right back with more Focus after these messages.
Here at the Audubon Center, we connect inner-city children with nature.
Before I came to Audubon, I didn't think about the environment.
I see children discovering a universe that wasn't available to them if the center wasn't here.
This place teaches you so much. If there wasn't a place like this, I think a lot of people would be missing out.
We count on the lottery to help us fund our programs for K-12 students. We need more friends like the lottery in the community.
Your neighbor. I mean, really, do you know the person who lives next door to you or down the street from you or across the street from you? Because if you don't, you might want to find out who these people are. Next door may be a jewel, like the jewel that we have as a guest today, Mr. Keith Johnson. I am so excited to have this man on Focus with us because this is a man who not only makes instruments, but plays instruments, work with kids, work in our community, and brings life through music to all of us. So I am honored to have you, Keith. I'm glad to be called your friend. Yeah, he's just yet another one of my friends. And we're going to talk about you and your music. So welcome to Focus.
Thank you, Fatimah.
So let's, how did this all start, Keith? I mean, you and I used to dance and play drums together in Kawambe. Mm-hmm. You were one of the original founders of Kawambe, right? Mm-hmm. With along with Dr. Mark Sunkett and Consuelo Davis. And I was one of the original dancers. So that's how I have known you. I've known you for, over about 30 years now. Yes. And you were one of our drummers. But you came from Washington, D.C., right? That was your home. You came from D.C. So how did you get started with drums? Because you play, I mean, I can't wait for us to see all of the things that Keith does. He does drums, he does balafone, he does steel drums, he does thumb piano, he does all of these wonderful things, and he's a storyteller, and he dances even a little bit. And I don't think a lot of people know that about you.
That's true.
But tell us, how did you get started?
Well, growing up in Washington, D.C., I got exposed to the Folklife Festival that was put on by the Smithsonian Institution. And as a small child, they would have buses and family members as well to take us to the mall gallery. And I found out that it was the embassies that opened their doors to the Folklife Festival that exposed us to cultures from around the world. And in doing so, I got a chance to see my first African group, the Watusis. I saw the Watusis, and in doing so, I got exposed to drums. And getting exposed to drums, I just liked the rhythm. When I heard the rhythm, it was just incredible. And then at the same time, in my neighborhood, we had a gentleman who played the congas on the street. Mm-hmm. And as a little child, I would go and watch him sit and play the drums, and all of the children would gather around and we would dance and act silly and have a good time.
Now you're that man.
Yes.
Now you're that man that the children gather around, that the community gathers around and listens and learn and play along with you. I mean, I've seen so many events that you've been at where you bring the drums, because you have probably hundreds of drums, I'm sure, but you bring the drums and people come and they just play and play. And when I mean play, I mean not only do they play drums, but they play with their spirit as well. So out of all of the instruments that you have, and you have a lot, and we're going to see a lot of these instruments, what's your favorite?
It's really hard to say what's my favorite. I fell in love with the steel drum because I saw people on the streets in Washington, D.C., from Duke Ellington School of the Arts, playing on the streets with a snare, a hi-hat, a bass player, and a steel drum. And they were having such a great time. At the same time, they had a box of money sitting in front of them where people would throw tips.
So that was interesting.
Later on, I found out that was their lunch money.
Oh.
So they were the students from Duke Ellington School of the Arts.
Well, let's talk about students, because you go into a lot of the schools and you have lots of residencies, meaning you're there for sometimes a week, sometimes a month, or maybe perhaps longer. What impact do you think the arts, particularly drums, music, have or has on children?
What I find is we have a lot of children who have hyper syndromes, and what the drums do is challenge that hyperness into something focused. And I find that in doing so, it also helps them with their math, with their reading, with their science, with their social studies, because what it does, it becomes mind, body, spirit. So you're having a chance to sit down and have the children to focus on something that they would be already patting on the desk or beating on the chair or hitting someone else. And what it does, the arts give them a focus to where they can sit down and find something that is comprehensible that they can do that has to do with rhythm. And I tell everyone that in our lives, we have natural rhythm going on inside of us. The way we blink our eyes, the way we have our heartbeat, even the way we speak in a rhythm. So with that and putting it together in the arts, we're bringing math, science, social studies to the children in a way to teach them, which is what we call an integrated curriculum. So as an integrated curriculum, you're able to reach children who may have problems reading or even having problems being socialized. And I find that through the arts, that gives them a greater opportunity to sit down and get focused, but also continue to learn and improve on their academia.
What I find fascinating about the work that you do is, like I said, I've known you for 30 years or more. And in that time, your process, your presentation has evolved exponentially. I mean, every time I see you, you have added a new component to your presentation. I mean, from audio visual stuff to new drums to steel drums to creating instruments. And what inspires you?
Well, I'm just a big kid at heart. When I see something, I'm fascinated by how it works. And at the same time, I'm always open to explore new things. And I find that in my process, it's where you have to diversify. So as time changes, you begin to change with the times and see that what did work yesterday don't necessarily work today. So you have to be open to change and at the same time be inspired by all around you.
So which instrument do you find the children gravitate toward more?
Always the drums.
It's the drums.
Always the drums.
Now, when you say drums, we're not talking about trap drums. We're talking about African drums, Latin drums.
Djembe, yeah.
Right, djembe specifically, the jun jun, the dun dun, the odono.
Yeah.
So they like that the most.
Yeah, I find, because it's a natural thing to come and hit on something.
Yeah.
Even as young as 2 and 3 years old.
You were telling me about your son, your little
Yeah,
grandson.
my grandson.
Your grandson.
At 8 months or 7 months, I put a drum in front
A
of him.
bragging moment right now.
Yeah, I put a drum in front of him. He was playing like he knew what he was doing. So I was like, yeah, it's in your blood, man. It's in your DNA. What's
Beautiful.
exciting too is I can go in a room like I was a couple days ago. Actually, just yesterday, I set up a row of drums, and right away 3- and 4-year-olds wanted to come sit in the chair and play the drums.
Wonderful.
So I let them.
Yeah, I've seen
And that's
them.
the cool thing about it is they're fascinated by the drum like I was as a young child. So seeing that is just a continuation of keeping that cycle going. Because I find the more we expose our kids to culture, the better understanding they have of the world.
And it's a natural thing. Needless to say, I just returned from Ghana.
Yes.
And I saw the children as they were playing, and not only playing drums and dancing, but they were also creating. They were making bracelets, beautiful bracelets. They were weaving beautiful kente cloth.
Yes.
It's like our children are spoiled. We, here in America, our children have the television, they have the internet, and so the creative piece is just not there, unfortunately. Not for all of them, because of course we can't speak for all children,
Right.
but certainly enough of them that creates sadness for me. But when I was on the continent, I saw the children using their hands, because they didn't have access to television, they didn't have access to the internet, they didn't have access to all of those things our children have. And so they were able to use natural resources to create the most beautiful things, from cloths to baskets to drums. So what I love about what you do is that you do that with the children as well. And we are going to come back and we are going to make a rain stick as well as play some of these incredible instruments. So you want to hear this, so come back.
Here at the Audubon Center, we connect inner-city children with nature.
Before I came to Audubon, I didn't think about the environment.
I see children discovering a universe that wasn't available to them if the center wasn't here.
This place teaches you so much. If there wasn't a place like this, I think a lot of people would be missing out.
We count on the lottery to help us fund our programs for K-12 students. We need more friends like the lottery in the community.
Hi, welcome back to Focus. You see I got my goggles on, and that's because I'm here with Keith Johnson, and we're about to make a rain stick. Now, once again, you need to find out who these treasures are in your community. Now, Keith, we already got this kind of started, and tell me what we are using here.
Well, what we have here is corrugated cardboard. Basically, it's a fabric roll tube that's been cut in half. Normally, it's about
That long? Like
this
that?
long together.
Oh, okay.
And then I cut them in half in order to share with my friends.
So you just get these from the fabric store? These are
Fabric
just,
stores,
they
usually-
throwing them away?
They pretty much is
Say
discarding
free.
them.
Okay. And then you put some holes in it. You use the little...
Yeah, I use an ice pick to put holes in it,
Okay.
or a scratch awl.
Okay, so you just kind of poke the hole in, right? Like that?
Well,
like-
it's a system I have that goes like this.
Okay.
Because you need quite a few holes, as you can see.
Okay.
So what you want to do first is place the toothpicks in the holes in a straight line,
Okay.
so that when you use your hammer to tap them down, you're taking this and using them like putting a nail, hammering a nail rather,
Okay, I got
in wood.
I got a couple started already.
So what you want to do is just take, don't push it down, just take the hammer and do it, because what you want to be able to do is make sure they're in there nice and snug. And that's what the hammer does, is make sure they're snug. Also, if you push them in with your hands are going to get sore eventually.
Okay, so why am I handy hammer cap?
You're perfect. You're doing an awesome job.
Oh my God, is that how you tell the kids, huh?
Well,
oh
of
my God, I'm
course.
doing good.
That's the best part. You can
This
be a
is fun.
success at everything.
Oh my God. No, this is really a lot of fun. I know the kids would love doing this. Cool. So you really can't go wrong. This is a really nice thing when you're upset about something. You know, instead of breaking something up in the house or hurting somebody, you could just kind of. You get my face, how intense I am with this? I'm intense. I'm just really intense right about now. I love the goggles.
The
You know what I'm
goggles are to
saying?
keep the toothpicks from popping in your eyes.
Like that one just popped.
So
right?
now the next step is just to take the hammer and knock them off to the side.
Can I get rid of them?
So then you start on your next row.
Okay, now what you did on this one, Keith, you might want to show folks, because we're going to put popcorn. Can you imagine? No, yeah, popcorn in that. But you put a little thing on the bottom, a little cardboard at the bottom
to seal
of that.
it, and some glue. And I
Right.
prefer to use this tacky glue because
like
it
the
dries
tacky
really
glue.
fast. And it's good for crafts.
Right.
So
It's
now
real
we're
cool.
just going to take this,
So now we take the excess
Picks off.
and then we
and
turn
then
it.
we turn it so we can get the next row. Okay, the
Okay.
next step will be to seal the ends by taking and put another hole
Okay.
at the end so that you can put a toothpick in the hole, and then we're going to cut out the circle. Thank you.
Okay, there you go. So we're going to cut out a circle. So
But
we got
what
this
you have
little-
to do is
this
measure,
little-
yep, this, so it's just the right size.
Okay, so it's just about like that, right? I was never good at stuff like this. I hope you get another one. Okay, and then we just put that little tacky glue up in there. Yucky.
So when it dries clear.
Right.
Now, before
So
we
now,
do any more, we use sandpaper to sand it. So before we do anything,
so we took
White.
we nailed we hammered the toothpicks in, and all of this is recycled stuff. And then you just sand it down a little bit to get the excess toothpicks off. How cool is this? This is fun. And the kids will love this. So, and if you can look inside, can you see inside, Tony? Where the toothpicks are crossing, and when you put the popcorn or the pebbles or whatever else you're gonna put in there. Nice, okay, so that's nice and smooth. It shouldn't come through the cloth now. For
now
the
we're gonna
popcorn. How cool is that? Listen, okay, now I don't have a,
we're getting ready to put the other side on now.
yeah, but listen to this. And the more toothpicks you put in, the slower it goes down. Isn't that cool? I just love that. I feel like a kid. No, I don't. I feel like a woman. Okay, so now we're gonna put a top on
Yes.
mine. And once we put that top on, we're going to wrap it in this beautiful cloth. How nice is that? So here's another one made out of PVC and caps with nails in it and copper BBs for the BB gun on the inside. Listen to this. Okay.
So now we just take this.
All right, look at that. Look, this is like so simple. No sewing, roll.
Then just roll it across.
But we don't want to put no more glue on there?
Yeah, we're going to put glue there.
Okay.
You just want to put something under that so I don't ruin my...
Cloth, of course. So now we're going to roll this. We're
So
gonna
you wanna
pull it, tighten,
And then roll it
and
straight
roll it.
across.
And look at that. And we got a rain stick, y'all. Look at that. Oh my goodness. How pretty is that? And of course, he's going to put in, you know,
gonna
like I
turn
would tuck it.
circles.
But
Right.
he's going to put the little
Keep
circles in. And we have a rain stick, everybody. Isn't that wonderful? Now, when we come back, we're going to go to these drums and to the balafone and to the kora and to the steel drum and to the thumb piano and on and on and on. So make sure you come back when Focus continues.
Here at the Audubon Center, we connect inner-city children with nature.
Before I came to Audubon, I didn't think about the environment.
I see children discovering a universe that wasn't available to them if the center wasn't here.
This place teaches you so much. If there wasn't a place like this, I think a lot of people would be missing out.
We count on the lottery to help us fund our programs for K-12 students. We need more friends like the lottery in the community.
Okay, so we got the dun-dun, we got the sangba, and we got the djembe, and we were just playing the rhythm. I was just trying to play a rhythm, but it's just so much fun. Now, these are also something that you could probably get in Home Depot, but of course you can't buy the drum there, so.
Basically, what I did is took some dowel rods and I recycle bicycle inner tubes.
Ah.
So that's what's on the inside is the rubber. And then I just covered it with electrical tape to keep the pieces from coming apart.
Nice, and then you get that sound. Okay, so let's move over. Let's move over a little bit because I just want to show people my
sticks with the
Alrighty.
balafons.
I want to show people my talents on the steel drums here. Now, the steel drums are from Trinidad. Okay, so that was how I played the steel drum. And I can't play, obviously. So I'm going to let the man who knows what he's doing, and he teaches this to the children as well. I mean, I'm so glad that you're part of my Rites of Passage program.
I'm excited to be a part of your Rites of Passage program. What we're going to do here is just explain that this is the bottom of a 55-gallon oil drum.
And in Trinidad, that's what they did. They didn't have the drums, so what they did was they took the oil drums, they cut them, and they started creating these patterns to make the sound, right?
What it is, it's called the definite pitch steel drum. So it's tuned like a piano. You have do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do. Then an octave higher, do, re, mi, fa, sol. So what I'm doing now is playing the octave in minor chords and going to the right.
I just love that sound. It's just so beautiful. And Keith, you taught yourself how to do this, didn't you?
But I play piano.
Ah, well, you see.
It's based on a piano.
Well, I play piano too, but
yes, I did teach myself. But being based as like the notes on a piano, here it's set up with sharps and flats and
let's go do the balafone, all right? Because I don't want to show off here because, you know. So
What
we
we
have
have
here the
here-
balafone. Now we have gourds underneath here. I mean, this is so ingenious that people use recycled products to create the steel drum, to create the rain stick, to create the balafone with the gourds. And I mean, you grow gourds, right? And I can't wait till we get to the kora. Go. Now this is where the xylophone comes from. Look at that. So let's try. Well, do I have time to do this?
Of course.
There's my 3 notes again. Okay, so what we're going to go to next is the kora, which is the original guitar. Now we have the exquisitely beautiful kora that's also made out of a gourd. I mean, take a look at that with some leather on top and some tacks. Hey, easy to do. This looks like it comes from a piece of furniture, right? I mean, let's use everything that we're not using anymore. And is it tuned? It's not quite tuned, right? But we could at least show you exactly what it would sound like. And you would tune it the same way you would tune a guitar.
Yes, it
by
has
pulling
tuning pegs.
the pegs, right? And beautiful. But this is I guess this is the grandfather of the guitar.
It is the
Right?
banjo and the
Yeah,
guitar.
of the banjo and the guitar. So we can take a look at the strings, but this is multi-string. How many strings do we have here?
21 strings in all.
21 strings. Look
You
at
play
that.
with your thumbs and your pointer fingers. and index
And there's
fingers.
something else that you play with your thumbs, and that's the thumb piano.
Yeah.
And I'm going to get this thumb piano from over here, and we're going to do a little, well, isn't that cute? My same 3 notes. Hey, you got to start somewhere, guys. You know what I'm saying? And it's a good thing it's the end of the show because I ain't got nothing else for you. So, until next time.